All right, well, school's back in session and COVID is still around, so how is your child adjusting?
How do we know? Dr. Laura Saunders from the Institute of Living is joining us now to talk more about it. Welcome, Doc.
Hello, friends. Happy Wednesday. It's a great day, Connecticut.
It is a great day, Connecticut. Thank you. You don't have to put a quarter in the jar, which is awesome because you got the name right.
So one of the things you want us to be asking is, how is our child adjusting? Because this whole process of going back to school is really an adjustment probably for all kids right now, given what we've been through.
Yes. So on the flip side, we often talk about anxiety, but the flip side of anxiety is adjustment. How are kids adjusting? These are unprecedented times, and adjusting is that process of adapting to expectations and challenges. So by this point in the school year, it's 2 to 3 weeks in for most districts. How is your child adjusting? And this is a good time to evaluate, is the morning routine going okay? What's the afternoon routine like? You know, are they managing some of the expectations of getting their homework done? This is the time to kind of evaluate that.
And how do you know if they're not adjusting well? What are the signs?
So often for younger children, it gets a little different for older children, but younger children, when they're not adjusting well, they tend to externalize that. It comes out more in what we call externalizing behaviors. So they're highly resistant to getting up in the morning. They're still highly resistant to going to bed at night. They're not doing their homework. They're irritable. They're angry. So they have more of those externalizing behaviors. High school kids tend to be more internalizers and tends to be more defiant resistance. And so you're going to really see that at this point they're not getting into a groove of routine.
So adjustment disorder is something that is just like anxiety disorder. It's actually something that can be diagnosed, but it's often missed.
Yes. So an adjustment disorder is under the category of anxiety disorders. But it's really important to note that I don't even want it to get to that point, right? An adjustment disorder, we're talking like 3 to 6 months, right? This is a few weeks in. We really want to focus on prevention. So this is where it's a low-level problem. In a low-level problem, you know something's wrong, so let's try to address it now. Check in with their teachers. They're the best people to start with because teachers have an amazing baseline of, yes, your child's doing okay at school, or no, I can tell your child's already struggling.
Very interesting.
So the teacher always is the window into what's going on. And then what would be, I guess, how can we as parents help if we find out our kids really aren't adjusting that well?
Right. And I think it's acknowledging that, you know, we're still in a global pandemic, right? And I'm really worried about a lot of those kids that were either hybrid or remote or in and out for parts of last year, and they missed significant gaps in their education. So they could be feeling behind the 8 ball if they don't know as much as their peers, or they have underlying learning issues that haven't even been diagnosed yet. So there's often a sign that there might be some bigger issues, so it's time to take a deeper dive, talk to the teachers, talk to the school counselors, have a meeting, have some conversations, and really start to look at this a little bit more closely, because we want to deal with issues when they're in December or January, and now it's a little bit more entrenched. It's been going on for longer, and it's going to be much more problematic.
And, you know, instead of saying, what is wrong with you, you should rephrase it as, hey, what's wrong with you? Like, let's talk about this.
What's going on?
Yes, tone is very important. And it's really asking those open-ended questions, kind of like what you're saying. So how was your day? Might be too vague because you just get a single word answer, but, you know, tell me one thing that you learned different today, or tell me one person that you talked to in class today. So, you know, opening things up a little bit, seeing what kind of information you get. As I often say, I of peers, because they're also good corroborating information, or asking your child about their friends. You know, I know your friend Johnny's in your class. How's Johnny doing, right? And the way to get information about your child without asking directly.
All right. Well, thank you. I liked how the way you said Johnny. It's very cool.
And Dr. Laura Saunders, we're so happy to have you. And you can join us also, everyone who wants to talk more about this. We're going to get into a deeper discussion on the Kara's Cures digital show on the WFSB app. So look for it on your Roku, Apple TV, or Amazon Fire. We're going to go more into how we can help and what we should be looking for. Thank you so much.
I look forward to it.
All right. See you next week. I'll see you next week. Or maybe I'll watch Kara. All right.